Hello everyone and welcome back to Life Transformation UK, or if you are here for the first time, welcome to Life Transformation UK. My name is Ben and it's my mission with this channel to help you achieve your freedom through confidence. Now, in today's video, I want to talk about a subject that is actually very near and dear to my heart because it is something that massively changed my life over the last few years, and that is on the subject of self-compassion and why self-compassion is so important in the journey to building up your self-esteem. So I'm going to be talking a little bit about how you can use self-compassion and how I've used self-compassion to build up my self-esteem over the last few years. And I'm going to go into detail about some of the techniques and ideas behind it. So if you're excited to learn more about how you can use self-compassion to overcome low self-esteem and build up more healthy self-esteem in your life, then make sure that you do watch this video all the way through in order to get the best results from the information I'm going to be sharing today. And if you do find this video useful, if you find it insightful in any way, make sure that you do smash the like button on the video because it really helps to support the channel and it really helps with the video reach, the channel reach, and also to let me know whether or not I'm doing a good job as a content creator. So do make sure to hit the like button and subscribe if you do like this content. So if you've been watching videos on this channel for a little while, you're probably going to already know that when I started out in my self-improvement journey, I had a lot of problems with my self-esteem and with a lot of anxiety issues. And on top of that, I had a lot of anger throughout my childhood and teenage years, and just a lot of emotional disruption that I didn't really know how to process, and I just didn't know how to deal with it at all. So a few months after a particularly devastating emotional knockdown, I decided that it was time for me to go and seek out the services of a counsellor. And at first, I didn't feel like I was getting a massive amount from the sessions. And then we started to dive into this idea of self-care and self-love, self-compassion, and the more we went into that, the better results I was having. Because one of the main reasons that I was actually going to counselling was because I had a very serious problem with self-loathing and self-harm. Self-compassion was very much the key to me starting to build back up my self-esteem, which was at a very, very low level for me. Now, ultimately, the way that you treat yourself is going to be one of the main defining factors of what your level of self-esteem is. If you're constantly beating yourself up emotionally, mentally, physically, or in any other way, then your self-esteem is going to be absolutely tanked. But on the other hand, if you treat yourself with compassion, if you treat yourself with love and with care, then your self-esteem is going to rise. And that's because your self-esteem is very much tied into the way that you think about yourself. And if you think about yourself as a person that is worthy of love and belonging and compassion and care, then that is going to ultimately raise your levels of self-esteem. Now, I'll be the first person to say that self-compassion is a really, really hard habit to get into, especially if, like me, you have many, many years of reinforced low self-esteem and a bunch of other kind of emotional irregularities, which is, I suppose, that's a nice way to put that, emotional irregularities. Definitely not skirting around that point at all. But what I will say about self-compassion is that once it is a habit that you have implemented into your life, it is 100% worth it. I don't know where I would be right now if I did not learn the skill of self-compassion those years ago and continue practicing it to these days. And the key tenet of self-compassion is simply this, and it's that you treat yourself how you would treat your best friend, or how you would treat a member of your family, or how you would treat your child, or something like that. But the idea is that if you would treat other people with love and respect and care and compassion, then why wouldn't you also treat yourself in that way? Because ultimately you are worthy of these things. You're worthy of feeling loved, you're worthy of having compassion directed towards you, of being cared for, All these are very, very important things that link to your self-esteem. And if you do have the capacity to treat others in that way, then you have the capacity to treat yourself in that way as well. So one of the best examples of how to use self-compassion is when it comes to making mistakes. That's something that we can all relate to. It's something that we're all going to do. It's something that we all have done. We've all made mistakes, big mistakes, small mistakes. And it's something that we're going to probably continue to do throughout the rest of our lives. And again, some of those mistakes will be quite small and minor, and some of them will be big, major life mistakes that are going to be hard to get past. Now, what we might typically do in those situations where we have made a big mistake is that it's very, very easy to fall into the trap of feeling guilty or feeling ashamed of yourself, feeling embarrassed, or just beating yourself up in generally, calling yourself a loser or calling yourself weak for having let this happen to you. And where self-compassion comes in is in understanding that, first of all, mistakes happen, and they happen to everyone. Even the biggest mistakes, they happen to everyone. But it's happened now, it's done, and you have to move forward. You have to find a way to move forward with that. You can't move forward with trying to fix the mistake or making sure that it won't happen again if you cannot accept yourself as you are right now. And ultimately, none of us are perfect, and we shouldn't hold ourselves up to a standard that is going to be impossible to uphold at all times, because we are going to make mistakes. And so you have to learn to forgive yourself in that situation. Let's say that you had a friend and this friend made a mistake in their life. You're not going to hold it against them forever, even if it is something that they made a mistake with in regards to you. Now, yes, it might take you a little bit of time to get over what happened and really come to grips with what has occurred. This is why I say that self-compassion is a really difficult habit to bring into your life, but it's 100% worth it, because eventually you are going to accept that, yes, this is what happened, that was in the past, and you can find a way to move past that. I have made endless amounts of mistakes in my past. There are things that I 100% regret doing, the way that I treated certain people a few years ago. I really wish that I could go back and change it, because I tanked a lot of really, really loving and caring friendships and relationships, all because of the way that I was back then. And I really wish that I could go back and change some of the things that I did, some of the things that I said, but I can't do that. So I've learned over time to accept that that's what happened, that's not who I am anymore, and I have forgiven myself for those mistakes. And if you can forgive yourself, then you're opening the door for other people to forgive you in the future as well. It's not a guarantee that everyone's going to forgive you for every mistake that you've ever made, but it's a good start. So ultimately, self-compassion is very much an exercise in self-acceptance. And as I've said many times on this channel, self-acceptance is one of the foundational keys, if not the most important thing, when it comes to building up your self-esteem. Because quite frankly, you can't move forward with your life if you can't accept who you are and where you are right now. It would be like having a GPS that doesn't actually know where you are in relation to the world. You have to understand where you are and where you've been and accept that that is true, so that you can move forward with your life and keep changing your life for the better. If you continue wallowing and if you continue dwelling on the past and the mistakes that you've made and the person that you used to be, you'll never be able to move forward in any kind of effective way in your life. And that is why having self-compassion and learning to accept yourself and forgive yourself is so very important to your self-esteem, because it is going to ground you in where you are so that you can be a better person in the future. That's what it did for me. I'm 100% not the person that I used to be. The things that I did in my past, I wouldn't even dream of doing them now, because I am a totally different person through this process of self-compassion. And this process has helped me to become more compassionate and caring and more connected to other people as well. It helped me fix my relationship with my family. It helped me build more real and meaningful friendships in my life. It has changed everything about me, and I am eternally grateful for having been introduced to this concept of self-compassion, because it has changed my life, and I am 100% certain that if you start to develop compassion for yourself, forgiving yourself for your past mistakes, accepting yourself for who you are now so that you can move forward more powerfully than ever, then I know that your life will never be the same in a very, very positive way. So I hope you have found this video useful. I hope you found this content to be inspiring in some way to go out and learn more about self-compassion and self-love, self-care. I do have some videos on this subject, so I will link them in the description below. You can check them out so that you can dive deeper into this concept and really start to apply this to your life so that you can start to move forward in a much more powerful way. If you have found this content useful, I would be massively grateful if you would leave a like on the video, because it really helps to support the channel. It really helps with the video reach and to let me know if I'm doing a good job as a content creator as well. And if you are new to the channel, do make sure that you subscribe, because I am putting out 3 new videos every single week. Monday is for self-esteem, Wednesday is for self-confidence, and then Friday is for more general self-improvement. So I hope you will stick around for more content like this on a regular basis. But otherwise, thank you very much for making it all the way to the end of this video. I really appreciate it, and I look forward to seeing you in future videos very soon.